everyone. So today I have Helen with me. I'm super excited to have her, to interview her today. I'm just going to hand it over to her to introduce herself to us.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Helen Deborah Amplefor. I am a Black British expat. I'm originally from Southeast London, but my parents are from Ghana. And I currently live in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. And I have a travel and lifestyle blog and also an online community called Afro Hair UAE, which is all about helping women find natural hair products and services in the UAE. Nice to meet you.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. Nice. That is really, really cool.
Yeah, I think on my socials, like I kind of divide the two. I have like my travel and lifestyle stuff, and then I have my Afro Hair UAE stuff because it's just doesn't really work together.
That makes sense. Okay, so you mentioned you're in Abu Dhabi. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us like what you're doing in Abu Dhabi? You don't have to be specific, but okay. You can just kind of give a gist.
Okay, so I'm a teacher, but I don't teach out here in a school, but I do private tutoring.
Okay.
So that's like my 9 to 5, and then I do my blog and my Afro Hair online community on the side as well.
Nice. I'm curious about the online community there. Are there a lot of people?
Yeah. There are absolutely loads of Black women out here. You've got some from like London like us, well, a lot from London like us. And then you've got quite a few from America, like the Black American community is like quite high here. And then their population size is quite high. And then you've also got Africans from Africa. So I think just a bit of the history. I came out here, my head was like shaved. I finished school, last day of school, I took myself down to the barbershop, cut my hair off, and was like, oh, it's fine when I go over there, I'll just go to the barbershop and, you know, they can do the trims for me. Not knowing that actually, because it's a Muslim country, their barbershop and salons are separated. Yeah, so I couldn't go to the barbershop to update my hairstyles. And there was so much drama with that. I was like, you know what, let me just grow my hair. And because I didn't know anyone, and if you're like me, you don't like anybody touching your hair, I thought, let me just create a community and just people can like it's kind of a directory so people can find what they're looking for here, because it's here, it's just not always very well advertised. And then we've got like a 300 strong community of women who have natural hair, who just love the community, and we do events and different things, so it's good.
That's amazing. No, that is, you're basically providing things that people need to know. That is great. And like tutoring, like what do you tutor? Is it English or what subjects do you tutor?
It's all English because I'm an English teacher, a secondary English teacher, but I teach English to from like A-level all the way down to my youngest was like year 3. So that's what I do, tutoring.
Oh, nice. That is really cool. I think it's really interesting to hear about the barbers shop in situation. It's good for other people who may have a low cut, short hair, and they're women. It's good for them to know this. So so I'm curious, why Abu Dhabi? What made you say Abu Dhabi? Or it probably a variety of things, but I'm curious why specifically.
Yeah, I think the main thing was just, you know what it's like for teachers back home in the UK. You just get a really rough deal.
Yes, basically. You guys do.
Yeah, so we just get all of the blame. The kids don't like us. The parents don't like us. The school just, normally. So out here, the package was just so much better. I think as an expat, you get to have it's more about your life than about your job. I think it's just, you're able to like meet new people, and, especially Abu Dhabi, it's sunny all the time. So it feels like you're on holiday. Life is a lot more relaxed. The package was good. So we were able to save, and, especially being from London as well, how difficult it is to get on the property market. And, you know, all of your money goes on TFL, not that they do anything. So it was just all round, when we thought about like finances, being able to save for the future, and still doing what we're qualified to do. It was just easier to be out here.
Nice. So there's a better work-life balance.
Definitely.
I'm going to assume better money you can save, etc.
No, it's tax-free, so you're not paying taxes.
Okay, nice.
Which is great.
And you mentioned so I know this. But so you're with your husband, right?
Yeah.
So are both of you teachers?
Both teachers, both English teachers as well.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so there's better benefits in Abu Dhabi. So how did you get into your teaching career? From, let's just say, what did you study? Did you originally do your undergraduate in it, or did you end up doing a PGCE, etc.? And like, just how did you apply to end up going to Abu Dhabi? Does that make sense? Like, finding your tutoring roles, the journey, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so the journey started in Nottingham. So like I went to Nottingham, but to do Nottingham Uni to do a psychology degree. And in my final year, I did a course in like educational psychology, and I really enjoyed it. And so initially the plan was to be an educational psychologist, but I knew that like being a teacher first, there's different roles in education. So like, and also they value you knowing the system. So being a teacher first was recommended. And I did like some like volunteer teaching assistant roles, and that's when I decided I like teaching in secondary school. Okay. So I did, after my psychology degree, I stayed on in Nottingham again for a further year, and I did a PGC in English though, because I love English, and I thought English you can teach all of secondary school, whereas with psychology it's normally like college. Yeah. So in terms of the jobs, you're going to have not as many opportunities if you teach psychology as you would if you taught English. So I chose English, taught in the UK in Nottingham for 3 years, and then I moved out here. So, but I came out here with my husband because in Abu Dhabi they want you to have the same degree as the subject that you teach. So I wasn't actually able to be an English teacher in Abu Dhabi, which is why I then did tutoring instead, which is fine. Yeah. And I actually used an agency back home to help me and my husband to come out here. But in the end, he was the one who got the English job because of that rule.
Okay, so there are agencies that can help you from the UK.
Oh yeah.
Get a job in Abu Dhabi, and I'm guessing so. You found your tutoring roles once you had moved there.
Yes.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. Nice. So, Abu Dhabi, how is it like getting around? Like, do you drive mostly? Would you use public transport? Like, what is it like getting around the city?
So I'd say public transport is not fantastic, especially if you're from where we're from. If you're from London, like it's not always the best service, but there are options. Yeah. Whereas here, there's no trains in Abu Dhabi. They've got like a metro in Dubai, but there are no trains in Abu Dhabi. There's buses, but the routes are not fantastic, and they're incredibly slow. But they do have taxis. Taxis like the main method of getting around if you don't drive. Okay. But most people, I'd say a lot of people who can afford it will come out here and drive, or they will live somewhere that's close to their home. They'll live somewhere close to work so that they can just walk to work.
Okay. That doesn't sound bad. I mean, taxi, we're used to it. I mean, well, Uber equivalent, I feel like here, but that's cool. So work culture, like obviously you're tutoring, but I guess it's still the same thing. What would you say, what was the difference, would you say, in, I guess, teaching or tutoring from the UK and students in Abu Dhabi? Is there a difference?
I think it depends on where you teach.
Okay.
So here you have, I think for like Westerners, you are normally in like a local school or you are in an international school.
Okay.
So the international schools, so my husband teaches at an international school and I taught a little bit in an international school here. The kids were absolutely amazing. They're like textbook kids. Like, you know, when you talk, they listen, and, you know, you set homework, they do it, that kind of stuff. So that was amazing. But the kids that I tutor are equally just incredible. And back home in the UK, I taught in inner city Nottingham. So the kids were really different, really different. But I absolutely loved teaching there. I actually miss all of those kids.
Really? You love the challenge?
Yeah,
or
I loved it. Like they were just similar to like probably what we were like when we were at school.
Yeah.
You know, so they just had like a lot of character, and some of them had like really hard situations.
Yeah.
But they would just be amazing kids. They were amazing. So I really enjoy teaching wherever. I don't think it really matters, because the kids then, like, you can build, if you are someone who can build a relationship with them, then you will enjoy it, because I think kids are just amazing anyway.
Oh, that's really nice. No, it's good to see someone like passionate about teaching or what they love. So it's good. So, for example, in a week, how much tutoring would you say you do? Or
Okay, so with the tutoring, it depends. I think there's ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
So on a good week, I could probably have about nine kids in the week, and some of them will do like double sessions, some of them will do single ones. It just varies. And then on a bad week, maybe about 4 kids a week. So I'm pretty busy.
Yeah, I can imagine. And
so there's a massive, they value education a lot, so they want the tutoring. So yeah.
Okay, and also in terms of the community that you have for like Afro hair and stuff, you mentioned that obviously not now because no one's really socializing like that, but you mentioned like events and stuff like that. What kind of events have you done in the past, or do you plan on doing in the future?
Okay, yeah, so with me, I started Afro Hair UAE about a year ago. So I actually managed to get my first event done in February, and then COVID.
Yeah.
So I planned to do so many more and just haven't been able to, which is really unfortunate. But I did an Afro brunch. So that was the first event. And brunch is like something very typical that people do out here in Abu Dhabi, Dubai. So we just went to a really nice restaurant, had a brunch, and I used like my teaching skills to create like different activities for people to do to get to know each other better, and give each other advice on hair and that kind of stuff. But really, it was mainly just to meet people and get to know them and find, it's nice when you find like black women, or women, but black women, we're very supportive, and it's nice to know that we're here. So there were a lot of connections that were made during it, which was really good.
That's really lovely.
For the future, planning to do like a beach day. That would be amazing. To just have people with their natural hair out and their swimsuits, and then we just go out there and take loads of pictures and just have some fun in the sun.
That is so nice.
And then obviously just stuff to train people with actually how to look after their hair out here in the desert, because it's hot, it's dry, and we need to know.
I can imagine the weather. The weather affects your hair. Oh my gosh, I just love the community aspect. I think it's really, really nice because when you move abroad, like, especially if you don't know anyone, you're literally on your own. So it's nice to have a place where you can have a community. I love that.
Yeah.
So would you say that Abu Dhabi is expensive? So in comparison to average, because average is broad, but average monthly salaries in comparison to average monthly rent or accommodation. I'm trying not to be too specific because not everyone wants to be specific about these things, but would you say it's expensive, or would you say you can get by, or these are things that you really do have to think about?
Well, if you live here, it's better than if you were to come here as a tourist, because you know where the deals are, you know where the restaurants are. You can get by 100% if you're savvy, but you can also like spend a lot if you're not careful.
Okay.
I'd say that in terms of what you're paid, especially as a Westerner, because I think Westerners do normally get paid the best or very well, and I'd say in terms of our costs, they kind of match, but it all just kind of depends on your job. But as time has gone on, obviously you get richer when you're here because you're earning more and you're saving, but then you also know like where to go. You have things like a car that you know how much petrol costs, you can budget. So I think if you're here looking to save money, you can absolutely do it, but you have to be careful. It's not brunch every day. You can't do it and save. So
it's the same in London.
You guys, you love your brunches now, isn't it?
I love brunch, but we can't do it every day.
No. Oh wait, but on brunch, London brunch is like between breakfast and lunch, isn't it?
Yeah.
This brunch here is not that. This brunch just means all you can eat and drink for 4 hours. You pay a certain amount of money, and then it's all you can eat. And for those 4 hours, and it's insane. So
that sounds great.
It's amazing.
Sounds economical as well.
But it's expensive. Depending on which one you go to, it's expensive. And if it's someone's birthday and they want to go to brunch, you go to this brunch. Then they want to go to brunch next week. You go to that brunch, and then your money is gone before you know it. So.
No, I hear that. So what kind of accommodation do you live in? It's not a house? Is it like a flat? Apartment. Okay, it's an apartment. Yeah. So it's like in a kind of a high-rise building type of. Okay, nice. Is that the common type of accommodation here, or it varies?
Yeah. So I think most places here they've built up, and then apartments are the main thing, and then they also have villas.
Okay.
As well. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So, so in Abu Dhabi, do you feel welcome? How do you like get along with the locals? Like, do you feel welcome?
That's a really interesting question. I think that's a good question. 100% I do. I feel really welcome here. I think I actually have a blog post that's called Why It's Better to Be Black in the UAE versus the UK.
Really? Okay, I'll put it in the description box. I'll ask you for it after.
Okay, yeah. So I really enjoy living here. I think it's really safe, and and I definitely feel welcome. I think there's so many different nationalities of people that live here. So I don't feel like anyone really no one stares that because you're black, which I think is massive for us.
Yeah.
There's so many nationalities. In terms of Emirati people, I haven't had that many interactions with them because they're quite what's the word? They're there, but it's like I don't really know where to find them. And because they're from here, they have their people.
Yeah.
So I think unless you work with them, it might be a bit difficult to kind of infiltrate and meet them. I've met a couple online, And they're so friendly, absolutely friendly. Like, I'm actually going to be having a chat with a girl who's Emirati, and she said to me, "Oh, I want to meet with you this weekend, but it's my brother's wedding, and I would invite you, but you know, because of Corona, like there's loads of restrictions and stuff." And it's very typical for like Emirati people to just invite you along to their wedding. They don't even know you.
That's nice.
It's a common thing.
Yeah.
I've actually been to an Emirati wedding of a friend who I met when I first got here, and I didn't even know who the bride was, but their weddings are just open like that. So I think when I do have interactions with Emirati people, they're very welcoming. But it's just not very frequent. As for the rest of the community, they're like, I think it's just, people are living peacefully side by side. So very welcoming.
That's nice. That's good to hear, you know, because you don't always hear that.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't, to be honest.
So we've already kind of touched on this about like an expat community. But I wanted to know, so you kind of created one for like Afro hair for Black women, but I was wondering, when you first got to Abu Dhabi, how did you find expats? Like, how did you find your people?
Yeah. Well, I think being a woman and being Western makes it pretty easy to do that, because we set up like coffee mornings and stuff, and just like different events to get to know each other. So I'm not really too sure what it's like in other communities, to be honest. But I know I joined a community called Expat Women. Women, and they did coffee mornings every Wednesday and every Monday. So there's a lot of women out here that don't work, and literally every week it was packed, and you can meet loads of people and ask loads of questions. So that was really good. And also those people that were there were like, the Facebook is big here. Like everything happens on Facebook. So join loads of groups and like sign up to things online, and then they'll send you an email and tell you about the events and stuff. So I found that it was pretty easy to meet people if you are like that way inclined. Like I'm a socialite, so I love going out, meeting people. So I was on it, and there was loads for me.
No, that's good. So Facebook is a place to be. If you want to move, if you're moving to Abu Dhabi, find your groups on Facebook. No, that's good that it's easy to like find different groups and different people to kind of meet up with. Okay, it's cool. So I have a question about food. I don't know how much I don't even know what the local food is there, so I don't know much, but I'm curious to know, what is the food like, or is it very much like what you would find in the UK?
So their food is similar to like Lebanese food or Persian food, or you know, that kind of Middle Eastern food. Like, it's very similar. So things like mixed grills, rice, a lot of rice, like vegetables as well, that kind of stuff. But to be honest, I think I haven't really had much Emirati food. I've had mainly Lebanese, I'd say, out here. So I'm not really too sure why, but
that's interesting. Are there a lot of Lebanese restaurants?
There are a lot of Lebanese restaurants out here, but to be fair, this place it's Western. It's so Western. Mainly like American Western. So you have like loads of chains and stuff that you would find in America. Or you would even find in the UK. So it's international food. There's a lot of there's a large Asian population here. So finding like Indian food, Pakistani food is very easy, as well as what other kind of food, like Thai food, or maybe not Thai food as much, but a lot of Chinese food and that kind of stuff. So you can find loads, but you're not really gonna find that much Emirati food.
That's interesting. I guess they probably do have certain spots, or I mean, they cook their food at home, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Do they have like any like African like stores? Like, for example, if you wanted
Yeah.
to cook a stew, a soup, can you go to a grocery store and buy some of that stuff, or do they actually have restaurants for like Ghanaian food, Nigerian food, West African food, other kind of African restaurants?
So they do. Yes to both of those questions. So if you want to cook food at home, they do have some places, and they have like the aunties and the uncles with the hookups.
Yeah.
So you can get those. But and I think mainly in Dubai, but in Abu Dhabi they've got a few spots where you can buy African food. And then there are a few restaurants. So like we all know them. There's like a few in Dubai. There's also quite a few in Abu Dhabi. So I know there's one called West to West, it's actually owned by one of my friends, and it's Caribbean and African food.
Nice.
Together in one restaurant, which I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
So that's called West to West Kitchen, and the food is amazing. So make sure if you come to Abu Dhabi, go there. But then there's also like Ethiopian restaurants. There are Nigerian restaurants, obviously, and there's this one in Dubai called Kiza. So they have Pan-African food. So not just West, it's like all over Africa, all under one roof, which is really nice. And that one's in a hotel, so it's like more, luxurious, I suppose.
Okay.
But yeah, you have your spots.
Nice.
But I would still recommend like making sure you bring some stuff from home over here if you want to continually make it.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. So it sounds like if you were really craving something, you could find it regardless of what it is. You should be able to find it. Nice.
Yeah.
So in terms of in Abu Dhabi, what is one thing that you learned about, or not necessarily Abu Dhabi, but the country? What's one thing you learned about, should I say, culturally living there?
That's a good question. Culturally, okay, so I think I put something on my Instagram page. I call it there's this word inshallah.
Okay.
And it means God willing. So basically, it's probably the first word that you will get used to when you move here, because it just means, when God wills it, it will happen. So, but that can mean different things. So when you're waiting for your when you're waiting for your cooker to arrive, when you just moved into a new apartment and they tell you it's coming at 12 o'clock on a Sunday and it doesn't, they'll say, oh, inshallah, it will come by 2. And when it doesn't come by 2, they'll tell you, inshallah, it will come tomorrow.
So basically, it's kind of used.
Yes. And I think as African people, we get it, because that's what it's like back home. Like basically I'm on a lay, I'm chilling, I'm relaxing. You'll get what you need when you get it. Don't rush me. So that is very much what the life is like out here. It's they're very chill, they're very relaxed. So yeah, you just have to get used to it. And it was really frustrating at the beginning because you just wanted things done. But I think it's actually been an amazing lesson, because I'm so chilled now. Like when things are out of my control, I'm like, all right, well, inshallah.
That is so funny. You explaining that is really funny. But no, you kind of adapt, I guess, culturally to where you're living. Else you'll just be frustrated all the time. Yeah. No, that's interesting. So what do you really enjoy about living in Abu Dhabi? What things do you really love about living there?
Yeah, I think the number one is just the sun shines all the time. And I think it's really important just to, I didn't think I realized before how sunlight actually affects your mood.
It does.
And how just having it there, I don't know, it's beautiful. And we've got really good sunsets out here as well. So it's just nice to be exposed to that natural beauty. And then second of all, I'd say just the kind of life that it's afforded my husband and I, just being able to save is massive, especially for people our age. And being able to travel is something I love doing, and I think it's actually really important, even if it's not traveling to a different country. Just getting to know a different place in the country in which you live is important, because it means that you're always growing, you're always finding new things out. So I feel like I've grown a lot since being here, because I've been able to be exposed to different cultures and different types of people. So yeah.
Nice. That is so nice. And the sun comment, us in the UK, when it's winter, you'll see people looking like they're so miserable, but there's no sun. So, and the vitamin D, it makes a difference. It really does. So nice. So what were the major challenges what have been the major challenges in living in Abu Dhabi?
I think the main thing for me was the job situation.
Okay.
So before coming out here, they were like, well, you're a teacher, so it shouldn't take you very long to be able to, get that job. They have these rules, but they should relax it. And that just has not happened. And this is my 4th year being here now.
Okay.
And I think as a Londoner, like, we have like a spirit where we just have to be doing the hustle, the side hustle, doing the most. And then also being a woman, also doing the most, being Black, African in particular, just doing the most.
Yeah.
And I really struggled when I was first out here, because I was like, I'm as qualified as my husband. How comes he's got the job and I don't have the job? We wanted to obviously both be out here teaching and earning and saving like double what we've been able to save now, and that hasn't happened. So I was kind of what's the word?
Disappointed?
I was disappointed, but it was just I struggled to find my purpose.
Okay.
Because my purpose was in my job. It was in what I was doing as a teacher. And my worth was kind of in that. So to be separated from that part of my identity was tough, because I felt as though like I deserved it, and like I worked hard to get there, and then I was being denied all of these opportunities. But I think it's actually been a blessing in disguise, because the stuff that I'm doing, like the writing, which I absolutely love doing, and Afro Hair UAE, which is basically helping a lot of women in terms of finding stuff for their hair so they can feel beautiful, but also finding community. I think that stuff is really important, and it's very me. So without like not focusing on teaching, has just meant that I've been able to explore these other things about myself. And but initially it was really hard to not do anything, and you don't know where you are. You don't have the money to kind of go out and find people and find what you like. So you have to just stay in the house, and then you're going mad. I'm as I said at the beginning, like I'm a socialite. I love being out. I love being around people, and I'm not able to, because I don't have the finances to do that, and I don't have the job, so I'm not meeting anybody. And I struggled, but over time, doing a bit of work here and there, building up my clients in terms of my tutoring, and then spending time writing, and falling into Afro Hair UAE because I was forced to, has kind of like made me feel as though, okay, I actually know what I'm doing. And I don't have to be a teacher. I've got other things. And
I love, do you know what? I love that, because basically you pretty much turned the challenging thing that into other things, basically. And I keep saying that I love the fact that you have a community. I'll keep saying it. No, I just think it's really good, because basically you're serving a community. I just love it. I totally get that though. Like, you literally, that's what you studied. You're working where you're working before, and then that's exactly what you want to do in Abu Dhabi. But nevertheless, it's worked out, and you're doing other things that you kind of explored and found. So I love that. Yeah. So did you experience culture shock moving to Abu Dhabi?
Um,
Or not really?
I think yes and no.
Okay.
The no, because as I said, it's very Western. So, you know, there's Starbucks, there's McDonald's,
Yeah.
you know, and there's a lot of Western people. So no in that sense, but yes in the sense that it's the desert, you know? So there's sand everywhere, not
Yeah.
everywhere, but like there's sand. You can go out to the desert and just sit there and have like a barbecue in the desert, which is insane for like a
Yeah.
London girl. You know, they have beaches everywhere. They have brunches, which we were not doing before. So yeah, culture shock in that sense, but for the most part, no, it's very Western.
Western.
I think I actually wanted more culture shock than I have, but I get it from travel, which is fine.
You get it for travel. Okay, so you when you do quite a bit of travel. Well, before the current climate or current situation of the coronavirus.
Yes.
I'm curious to know like where you've been going to, like travel. Yeah.
So do you want to know where I've been since being here or before?
I honestly don't mind. We'll love to hear all the places you've been to. You don't have to necessarily list, but you can say like different places that you've loved.
Okay, so I'll do it from here because I did like quite a bit of Europe before coming out here. But then when I was here, I think actually the first year we went to Berlin in Germany and then Switzerland, which both amazing countries. I've been to Thailand. I've been to Malaysia and Singapore. Nice. I've been to the Philippines. I think that's all my Asian ones.
Nice.
Ghana, because, you know, I'm from there. So I have to go. I've been to Colombia, which was my solo travel trip, which I absolutely loved.
Wow.
I've been to Oman here. Supposed to go to Japan this year, but Corona.
Yeah.
Where else have I been? And then just Prague since being here as well. And then I've been to other places like Ayia Napa, you know, that trip you do when you're 18. So Ayia Napa, I've been to Turkey, I've been to Greece, I've been to France, Italy, Spain, quite a few countries.
Yeah, you've done a lot of travel since you've been there.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's a nice hub to travel from?
Yeah.
It is.
I think being from the UK and then also living here is like the perfect combination. Because in the UK it's so easy to travel to all of the European countries for cheap, but then from here it's like the center of the world kind of. So you can travel everywhere, and it's not too nowhere. Well, there are places that are really far away, but it's you know, you can get to like Asia in like 5 to 7 hours, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. So that's cool. So it's great in terms of proximity
to other countries. No, so it's a good travel hub as well.
It is, yeah.
So so you spoke about culture shock. I have a question. Did you deal with homesickness? Have you dealt with it? And if you have, like, how have you been managing it or kind of finding your way around it?
Yeah. So I'm also going to plug in another post that I did called, what's it called? The Truth About Relocating. So in that, I kind of unpack like the fear of missing out, the things that you miss out on when you do move away, because it's great. And I wouldn't change it for the world, but there are things. And I think the main one is like just the kind of Black British scene of like your friends, your friendship groups, and like, you know, going out to parties, African hall parties, and just like the family friend combo. Like you don't have those people here, and you meet new ones, friends who become family really quickly, but it's not the same as people who've known you like forever.
Yeah.
So I definitely missed and still miss that. I missed out on like quite a few weddings and,
Yeah.
you know, baby showers and meeting people's kids when they're really little.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's the price that we pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of homesickness, I speak to my mum and sister like all the time. And WhatsApp groups are amazing
Yeah.
for just connecting, reconnecting. But I think most people don't know that in the UAE, like FaceTime, Skype, WhatsApp calls are actually blocked. So it's
Really?
only Zoom. Yeah, it's only Zoom recently that allows us to to talk to people, and it only happened like since COVID. So that's
Ah,
when we kind of knew that Zoom was a thing. Well, that's
available.
when I knew anyway.
Wow.
So it's been tough in terms of actually talking to people back home and seeing them. But
Yeah.
thank God for Zoom.
Yeah. Is there a reason why? Or is that's just the law? Or
I don't know. I'm not really too sure the ins and
okay, so
outs of
that's a
it,
bit.
but that's just the law, and I'm not going to break
Yeah.
it. So
Oh no. Yeah. Definitely don't break the
yeah,
law abroad,
no,
please.
I'm
Or
not breaking
anywhere.
it.
Yeah. so, so okay. So if for someone who may potentially be moving to Abu Dhabi or may even be considering it, what are one or two things that they need to know before even considering to move there or before accepting a job role or something like that? What are two things? One or two things they need to know.
They need to know before moving out here.
Or they should consider or look into. It could be anything. I mean, you have mentioned quite a few things. So if you don't have anything new, that's fine. But if you have anything else to add.
Yeah. I think definitely the living costs, something to consider. So in terms of your work package, you have to really know what the benefits are and the contract so that you know just the ins and outs of it. Because you don't want to get over here and then, you know, you think it's going to be one thing and then there's loads of surprises. Second thing is, this is a good one. Most people actually leave here worse off than they actually come here. Yeah, because the lifestyle, you know, Abu Dhabi, Dubai in particular, they're like Instagrammable places. They're absolutely stunning and they're luxurious, and the UAE has done such a good job of like building the place up, which means that people come here and are reckless in terms of how much money they spend on things just because they want to do image gang.
Yeah.
So I would say just know that if you're going to move here, it is absolutely possible for you to save and be better off. But it's also really easy to spend money, to spend it. So budget, have a plan in place, know how much you are earning, how much you're able to save, have your goals, and don't compromise them for brunch. Like, please don't do it.
This brunch thing sounds like it's tempting.
They're fun. They are fun, but hey, it's not worth it. It's not worth losing your pension over.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting. That's very good advice, you know, because you want to go somewhere and leave better off rather than worse off. Okay, wow. Okay, so you're currently still in Abu Dhabi. So would you ever consider moving to another place, or because just of how good Abu Dhabi is, you'd be kind of willing to stay there for a bit longer, or however longer you guys would like, or would you be considering, or would you ever consider somewhere else?
Oh yeah, I think I've been bitten by the expat bug, 100%. And the way that I describe the weather and the sunsets, like I can't come back to London like to live anytime soon. I can, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
I love London. I love England. Like I think it's an amazing place to live and even be from.
Yeah.
But the cold, like, just remember I'm a teacher, so I just remember like waking up early, getting into school, all these books to mark. I've got kids who just have no respect for me. No, they do, they're lovely. But like, they could just be in a mood, you know, it's dark outside, it's cold, and then I have to stay there, do extracurricular. Then it's dark when I'm leaving. I get home. And I'm tired, you know?
Yeah.
There's no, no. And so I always think about like winter in the UK. And I just think, I don't think I can do another one for a very long time.
No, I hear that.
So we definitely would, like, we'd stay here, but ideally we'd like to move somewhere, somewhere in Asia, because like, I really like it out there. The food is incredible. Yeah. I just like the Asian vibe. And just things that are a lot more affordable there. Here is great for, you know, in terms of it being tax-free and stuff. But I think in Asia, your money just stretches further. So in terms of being able to save more, I think we'd be able to do that in Asia. And then also my teaching thing, I'd be able to teach out there with no issues, I think. So that's the next destination, ideally. But then it also depends on when we can go.
No, that sounds amazing. No, I second Asia. So obviously I lived in South Korea for a year. I did TEFL. Yeah. So I did TEFL. That was my first time ever doing any form of teaching. I had done a bit of tutoring before, but it was really interesting. But Asia definitely, especially for international schools and stuff like that. So
what was it like in South Korea?
South Korea, I loved it. I loved it. So I went with it was a government program. They call them guest English teachers, to kind of go into public schools and kind of stay. It's a 1-year contract and it's amazing. You get an apartment. They give you an apartment with the contract. They pay half of your health insurance, stuff like that. And it affords you to be able to travel to other places in Asia. It's a good base, relatively safe. I really like South Korea. A lot of people go to Japan. A lot of people go to like Thailand, different places. And I feel like, because I did TEFL, but if you're actually like, should I say, I don't know, a qualified teacher, should I say
qualified English teacher,
then you have like way more options, like international schools, all those different schools, and they pay pretty decently.
So you'd recommend it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed myself. I thought it was a really good base. Some people prefer Japan, some people prefer like Southeast Asia, but Asia in general, I think, like you mentioned, it's a good hub to kind of explore other countries on the continent there. So
okay, we're gonna have to have a separate chat, I think. Maybe I'll be like writing something for my blog about South Korea, because I'd like to know what it's like for Black people out there as well, in particular.
Oh, I can definitely tell you that as well. Yeah. So do you know what? It's been so nice talking to you. It's been such a lovely conversation. So before we wrap this up, where is the best place for people to connect with you? So this is like if someone wanted to reach out to you about this, where's the best place to connect with you? And you can also talk about your community one as well.
Okay. So I said that they're separate. So I'll go with Afro Hair UAE first, because it's like the shortest. So Afro Hair UAE on Instagram. My Twitter is there, but it was suspended. I don't know why. I'm trying to get that back. I'm trying to recoup it, but at the moment it's Afro Hair UAE on Facebook. There's a Facebook group as well, Afro Hair UAE group, but it's mainly for people who are either visiting, but mainly for people who actually live in the UAE to just know where to go. And then there's also, I mentioned the Instagram as well. And then I have my personal brand, which is HelenDeborahAmpleford.com. So it's just my full name. But then on all of my other socials, it's H Deborah Ampleford. So Twitter, Facebook is actually, H Deborah Ampleford or Helen Deborah Ampleford. And I have a Pinterest. I also have a YouTube channel. They're all H. Deborah Ampleforth, or if you just
Okay.
type in my full name, you'll find it.
Cool. And I'll put it in the description box, or I'll kind of, so people can quickly find it. But yeah, no, it's been so lovely talking to you. Thank you so much
You
for your
too.
time.
You're
Taking your time
welcome.
out.